Hello and welcome to an exciting episode of WHITT Sessions. It's been a while. What is WHITT Sessions? I am so glad you asked. WHITT Sessions is a pop-up conversation in a pop-up location with a pop-up guest. Only this time my guest is someone that I think you all already know. She's been featured in the Post-Tribune. She's all over social media and she's all in our community and, most important, a member of the WHITT PR family. I'd like to welcome back to this platform Miss Jaunesia Davis, CEO and founder of We Are the Village, Inc. Hello.
Hi, Chelsea. Thank you for the amazing introduction, as always.
It's so good to see you. The last time I introduced you to this audience, of course, I've been promoting and we've been pushing things out that you had going on, but we were doing that introduction of what your organization does, how you were raising money, how you're looking for a location for permanency, and I felt like it was in good and proper order to get back with you in front of everybody to talk a little bit more about where We Are the Village Inc. is now. Because the last time we were at your fundraiser and in the park where it was simply amazing. So I'll let you give us an update, but before you do that, please tell those who are tuning in for the first time exactly what We Are the Village is and its mission.
Okay, so We Are the Village is a foundation that I started for children with disabilities. My son, he was diagnosed with autism about 3 years ago, and I realized that Gary didn't have enough of the resources that we needed, and I decided to bring the resources to Gary, Indiana.
So how is your son doing these days?
He's doing really good. School's going good. He's doing very, very well. He is, I'm sorry y'all, but I have to tell y'all because I've been telling everyone. My son knows his words. He knows his birthday. He knows my name, my first and last name. He knows where he lives. He also knows the school that he goes to.
And you know, a lot of us can take that for granted. Somebody might be watching and saying, okay, so what? So does every child, but not every child with autism can progress at the same rate as young people other ages, or their same age rather, and also they learn differently. And that's one of the things that when he first got diagnosed, you took the time along with the village, hence the name We Are the Village, your family members, to find those resources to ensure that he didn't get left behind. And so I understand just from keeping up with you that while plans are still in the work to secure a permanent location, your programming is moving forward with some other partnerships in the community. Please tell me all about it.
I'm super, super excited to announce my partnership with Geo Academy's Gary GMC. Gary GMC is Gary Middle College, which is a school that provides services to adults or young adults that want to get their high school diploma. Okay. So whether you're 16 or you're 60, you can go back and get your high school diploma at Gary GMC. And we have a partnership with them where we're offering childcare services to the children, to the parents that go to the school and to the community of Gary.
That is perfect. So you mean to tell me that while these adults are getting their GED or getting their education, their certifications, your team will be able to watch their children and provide engaging program for them?
Yes, ma'am, and for free.
No cost.
No cost.
There's got to be some kind of grant involved. I won't delve into that, but if you're able to do it, again, you have shared with me on so many occasions how committed you are to your hometown, our hometown, Gary, Indiana, and that it's a process as far as getting to a point where you want We Are the Village to be. I have to ask you this. Are your fundraising efforts and GoFundMe campaign, is that still going on?
Yes, ma'am, it's still going on. You can also donate at www.wearethevillaginc.com. You can donate to our Cash App, We Are the Village INC. You can just visit our website and donate to us, help us. Let's get this community, let's bring this autism awareness to this community because I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it.
I already feel it. When we first met, that was one of the reasons when I talked to the team as we gauge how many projects we can take on and do it effectively. I was like, we have to make room for Jaunesia because it's rare what you are doing. And I always applaud our millennials, our young people, for taking the initiative to get things done and not waiting for things to just happen and pop up. You're making sure that this happens. So talk a little bit about the types of programming when We Are the Village totally gets its home that you plan to offer to those in need of your services?
I'm super excited to let you guys know that I'm going to be offering therapy services for all children. I'm going to also offer therapy for parents. We're going to have sessions where we talk and we come together and we explain like what's going on in our households and how we can help each other. We're going to have mental health. We're going to have so many therapeutic sessions for children and for the people in my community.
Mm-hmm. And there are grants available, and I'm hoping there may be someone watching. You know, as we know, Gary is filled with property and we're exploring different options, but you never know if someone's watching that says, you know what, I have space in my building or have a building that they want to gift. But giving to this cause is also beneficial for the simple fact that it's not only just for the building piece of it, but for the program. And I understand you want to get therapists on board and the other medical staff that help. Go back and talk to me again about, or more in depth, about your journey when your child was first diagnosed, because you shared with me, brought me to tears, that the diagnosis was, oh, he won't walk, yes, he won't talk, you know, you can just get ready to lay back and just accept what the diagnosis was, but that's not what you did.
Yes, ma'am. So when they told me that my son wasn't going to walk and he wasn't going to talk, he wasn't diagnosed with autism right off the bat. Okay. They just knew that he had a developmental disability, and they said he was going to be nonverbal. I started getting him therapy, occupational therapy, at 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. It matters. If you notice that something is wrong with your child, that's one of the reasons why I started the child care center. Because once I expand, I'm going to take children as early as 6 weeks. Because if you don't notice the problem, then maybe your daycare team can notice the problem, or maybe your child's teacher can notice the problem, and we can get on it soon. If you get on it soon, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to help your child elevate. I feel like that it starts at the home. You lay the platform for your child. So when I started getting him therapy at 3 months, it started at occupational, then it went to physical, then it went to developmental, and then he went to an ABA clinic.
Wow,
ABA clinic.
That's a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's commitment. That's the village to say, I'm not just going to sit back and accept what the doctors say. I am going to find the resources and make sure that my son has access to them. And then it kind of hurt my heart when you told me that you had to venture outside of our community to find a lot of those services, with the exception of Bethune. Shout out to Bethune here in Gary. Yeah, but some of those more medical type supports and therapeutic type supports aren't readily available in Gary.
Yes, ma'am. Like one-on-one teachers. We don't have enough one-on-one teachers because we don't have enough funds for the one-on-one teachers, because it's so many children with developmental disabilities, not only autism, but developmental disabilities in all. And we have more children with developmental disabilities than we have one-on-ones.
And I would add to that everybody doesn't have a village.
Right.
You were blessed to have, siblings, parents, cousins, just that whole family atmosphere, and we all don't have that, and that's what your organization seeks to provide. Yes. So tell me, like, at the moment, how did the name, it just popped in your head when you were saying, oh, my family, they're the village. How did that come to you?
That is a saying of my family. We always say it takes a village to raise a child. And I want to say this. When I told my family that my son, well, I didn't tell them, I showed them that my son can talk and he can say his name and my name and where he lives and everything. You know, my auntie told me 3 years ago, I thought that would never happen.
Really?
She said 3 years ago.
Well, auntie, you were wrong.
He is doing it, and he knows, and it's so amazing. It's so amazing. My family, once I figured out what to do, they came on with me. At first, they were, no, he's special needs, No, we have to all be on the same page so we can help my son succeed, so he can be a successful learner. And that's what we did. That's why it takes a village to raise a child.
And that's what we're going to do with your organization to continue. And I like the fact that the services that you provide and will be providing, when you talk to the parents, you'll be able to tell them, I know what you're going through, versus, okay, I learned this in school, or this is what the textbook said, or I Googled it. You can say firsthand that you have a child who's had some challenges, and that you can empathize and the frustrations that they have. Talk about some of the things that you do at home with your son to keep him stimulated and moving forward with the progress he's experienced so far.
One show I would recommend is Coco Melon.
Okay.
Coco Melon, my son, we only use kids YouTube, and Coco Melon is a go-to because it showed him family structure. So that's one of the main things that I would recommend to families is watch educational programs, because children with developmental disabilities, they really can't tell, with you talking. They can't tell what you're talking. You have to show them, and that's one thing that we do. We're very hands-on. So everything as far as cooking, me and his brothers, we are very hands-on with him because we want to show him rather than just telling him do this, do this, do this. You have to show them. You have to work with them, and that's one thing that I implement in my household.
That's great. And I remember on a radio program that you were on, we've been somewhere everywhere.
Yes.
You were talking about originally your son was calling you daddy.
Yes, ma'am. He called me daddy. That was his first words, daddy, daddy, daddy. He didn't know that, I feel like he didn't know the family setting, but he knew that I was that kind of figure to him. So he started calling me daddy. We're in a store, and he runs up, oh, daddy, daddy. And I always answered because I didn't feel ashamed and I didn't feel embarrassed because I was happy that my son was calling me. They said he wasn't going to call my name at all.
I know.
And he was calling me daddy, I'm coming. So whenever he calls me.
Yeah. Well, I am just so glad to have seen the growth because I know you and I connected sometime back in July. And I have to compliment you on the fundraiser. If you all didn't see the coverage or didn't come out to the back to school fundraiser in August 15th, I remember that day over in Ironwood Park on the east side. It was an amazing success. You had Target as one of those corporate sponsors. You had vendors out there. Great food, I have to say. I had to steal a recipe of the green machine or whatever, the green smoothie that the lady was out there making.
Azaria, shout out to you.
Hey, Azaria. I went home and actually made that same drink. And it was just an opportunity for the children to get free haircuts. They got backpacks. Hair braiding was going on. It was like an old school fun time, and so thankful that the Post-Tribune picked up on that. And I want to commit to you that we will continue to tell your story. For those of you who are watching, we implore you to visit the website wearethevillageinc.com. A donation of any size always makes a difference. Right now you may think, well, I don't have any children, or this doesn't impact me, and the next thing you know, someone in your village may need these services. And so as a community, it is incumbent on us to come together to support what you are doing. Can you please share with everyone, once again, how they can get in touch with you for services and how they can give to make an impact?
All right, you guys, follow us at We Are the Village INC on Facebook, like us, and make sure you visit our website at wearethevillageinc.com. You can also send me an email, or you can give me a phone call at 219-512-0175. And also, stop by our child care center. Come by and see and register your kids. If you have a child, my services are not only to the citizens of, are not only to the students of Gary GMC, it's also to Gary, Indiana. So if you have a child and you are afraid of the services that they might get because they have a special needs, then come on to me. I got you. I got you.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it straight from the CEO, boss lady, millennial herself, Jaunesia Davis of We Are the Village, Inc. I'm Chelsea Whittington, also known as CWHITT. This has been CWHITT Sessions. We thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm counting on you to show your support. We'll see you next time.
Do you win? I'm with CWHITT.